Ahead on NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
U.S. beef exports set a record last year. We'll have the details. Plus, we'll talk about sustained nutrition for your herd and expert advice on battling the parasites that can cut into your profit opportunities.
And now, NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen with host Kevin Oxner.
Hello and welcome to NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kevin Oxner. Thanks for joining us as we share some of the latest cattle industry news and bring you more of our special interviews from the recent Cattle Industry Convention in Nashville, Tennessee. Leading our news this week, with a smaller cow herd, U.S. beef supplies have been tighter the past few years and cattle prices have been on the rise as well. Another factor in those prices is the strength of U.S. beef exports. 2013 was another outstanding year for sales of U.S. beef into the global marketplace, and we learned more about that from Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Brian Baxter.
From Asia to Latin America, customers in the international marketplace were eager to buy U.S. beef last year. For 2013, U.S. beef exports increased to an all-time record value of more than $6.1 billion for the year.
I think that, in 2013 we saw a huge increase with Japan. We're up over 50% as far as growth there. I think the two areas that we're looking to in 2014 would be the Chinese market. That's a market that's one of the fastest growing markets in the world. It's the fastest growing beef markets in the world. So access into the Chinese market would be huge for this industry. Also, the Russian market is a market that's closed. And if we could get back into the Russian and the Chinese markets this year, that'd be very, very positive for the beef industry.
The work of the U.S. Meat Export Federation and the strength of U.S. beef sales in markets such as Japan makes a real impact on the bottom line for U.S. cattle producers.
Well, it's huge. I think for the average cattle producer, is almost $250 a head is the value of an animal that's being exported. That's the export dividend. We export, when you take byproducts and the whole thing, probably close to 20% of the production in this country is being exported. When we look at the growth that's going on internationally, that's where the real value is in the international marketplace. So for producers today, I think you have to take a look at not only at the domestic market, but equally the global market, because that's where tomorrow is.
Seng notes that as U.S. beef prices trend higher, competition in the international beef marketplace is getting tougher as Australia and other countries continue to battle for export market share. I'm Brian Baxter reporting for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
The top foreign customers for U.S. beef exports last year were Japan, Canada, Mexico, Hong Kong, and Korea. Last month, the Cattle Industry Convention in Nashville set a record of more than 8,200 attendees, and the NCBA trade show was a record breaker as well, with 300 exhibitors. Joining us now to talk about an exciting announcement made during that trade show is Samantha Mernon with NCBA. Samantha, I hear there was some big news during the NCBA trade show. Tell folks about that.
There was some big exciting news, Kevin. The Ram Trucks brand and NCBA announced that Ram Trucks has a brand new partnership with NCBA. So part of this is that Ram Trucks is now the official truck of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association.
That is big news. And what does it mean for members?
It's great for members. Ram Trucks is offering a new member benefit. This is called the Chrysler Affiliate Rewards Program. It means that NCBA members can get the 1% below factory invoice price on almost all new Chrysler Group vehicles.
What a great deal. Now, how do we take advantage of that opportunity?
It's really easy. You just log into www.beefusa.org, print out some member-specific information, and take that to your local Ram dealer. From there, all you have to do is find that perfect new truck to take home to the range.
That sounds outstanding. And speaking of equipment, I hear there's some other opportunities specifically with John Deere.
That's right. We have an online bid auction going on right now. So anyone, member or not, can bid on a brand new John Deere Gator 825i. This auction is only going until March 14th, so get on there and place your bid. Just go to www.beefusa.org.
Wow, John Deere Gators and Ram trucks. Now,
That's right.
tell folks that may be watching at home, maybe they're not members, why should they become members of NCBA? More importantly, how do they get involved?
It's really an important thing to take part in the policy that directs your business, and that's what NCBA does. So we encourage you to become a member and have a voice in that. Once again, you just go to www.beefusa.org and click on the green Member Center tab. That'll take you to all the information you need, and it's a great way to join online.
Well, thanks for coming to share that news. We always welcome that kind of news.
It is. It's very exciting, so we're happy to have it.
Thanks, Samantha.
Thanks, Kevin.
And if you'd like to join Samantha and thousands of others in our industry as members of NCBA, now's a great time to do so. It's easy. Just give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit our website at beefusa.org. Still ahead on NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
I mean, it is a huge problem in this area, and you know, having a product that will actually break that parasitic life cycle is the key to the whole deworming process.
We'll have expert insight on the best ways to battle the parasites that can limit your calves' weight gain and cut into your bottom line. Plus, we'll visit with Dr. Ron Scott from Purina to learn more about sustained nutrition for your cow herd. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You're watching NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen on RFD TV.
Well, I think a rancher has to be a steward of the land. There's nobody else that can take care of land better than a rancher. When we switched over to the Purina products, it was a step in the right direction.
The difference we see in the cattle is the consistency of their nutrition.
The cattle hold their condition a lot better throughout the whole year.
It does make a difference that we can see, day in and day out.
Your herd, your business, your family. You've always protected what matters most, so you know how important vaccinations are for healthy cattle. And with Vista vaccines from Merck Animal Health, you know you're covered. No other vaccine works like Vista. Only Vista gives you complete dual-action pneumonia protection and complete one-dose fetal protection for the entire pregnancy. Protect what matters most. Talk to your veterinarian or animal health supplier about Vista.
To ensure your seeds become strong stands, give your soil the right preparation before you plant. Improve your growing environment with agronomically designed equipment from Case IH, like the new Ecolo Tiger 875 disc ripper, engineered to manage tough residues and shatter root-limiting compaction for improved nutrient uptake and better stands with more fully developed plants at harvest. The world of farming is changing. Will you be ready? Learn more at caseih.com.
Welcome back. Cattlemen and women know the importance of building a solid relationship with their veterinarian. These partnerships can help prevent costly problems and result in a healthier bottom line. For more on the important benefits of working with a veterinarian, Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Brian Baxter has the story.
In the northeast corner of Oklahoma, Jerry Wright has been managing the land and cattle on the Smoke Rise Ranch for 25 years.
This ranch here is approximately 10,000 acres. We run anywhere from 12 to 1,300 cows, Kevin pairs, commercial cows. We use Angus bulls on them, predominantly Angus bulls. I think probably 90% of the herd is, spring Kevers.
Over the years, Wright has learned to trust in his veterinarian, Dr. Rick Reed, who plays an integral role in helping to develop a comprehensive herd health plan, one that keeps his animals healthy and protects the investment.
We have a single veterinarian mixed practice, so we do a little bit of everything here. Primarily cow-calf and stocker operators that are in this area, and we have a lot of them.
When I came here, in 1989, Doc, he was my tutor, so to speak. There's no telling how many heifer calves I hauled into him. His trust in me, as far as describing what's wrong, in mine and him, and describing, what I need to do is unmeasurable. As far as questions on antibiotics, wormers, you know, all the vaccines, you know, he's who you need to talk to.
Like producers in every state, cattlemen in Oklahoma face a variety of concerns from weather to animal health. However, when it comes to profit robbers, at or near the top of the list are parasites.
The people here, from day one, we've tried to teach them and tell them as we go along about how parasite problems are a huge problem in this area. An overabundance of parasites can cause many problems, from anywhere from poor weight gains to actually weight loss, and then in a calf operation, definitely unthrifty body conditions, which leads to poor milk production, which leads to poor weight gains or weaning weights, and then the poor or delayed breed back. So parasites are a huge problem in this area.
In fact, research shows that of all the animal health practices used for increasing production, treating cows for parasites gives the greatest economic return. That return is up to $201 per head as a result of improved reproduction, leading to earlier calving and earlier weight gain in those calves. That's why Dr. Reed has been recommending Marielle's Long Range to his clients, and the reaction has been positive.
They're saying that the cattle have done better than they've ever done. The people that used Long Range were very, very happy, and they commented that they'd never seen their cattle do as good as they've done that grazing season. So it was a good deal. It's an excellent concept. Long Range with the extended release, anytime you can have a product that will break the life cycle of those parasites, you actually have an opportunity to clean up your pasture, so to speak, because all those infective larvae that the cattle ingest are killed, and they never have the opportunity to turn into egg-laying adults. So that's the great thing about Long Range.
Dr. Reed notes that Long Range is also a good choice for stocker operators who may receive stressed, high-risk calves that often struggle to gain weight due to high parasite loads. And he notes that not only does Long Range provide parasite control for up to 100 to 150 days, its extended-release formula reduces time and labor in handling cattle.
In the past, to get the same longevity that Long Range has, you would have had to run cattle through the chute at least 3 or 4 times, and that's just too labor intensive. There's too much opportunity for animals getting hurt, and it's just too hard to run cattle through the chute that many times. So this is going to make everything different. It's going to be a game changer to me.
Jerry Wright incorporated Long Range into his herd health program last year. Since he started using the product, he's seen improvements both in his animals and his bottom line.
We've also had an increase, you know, in weight gains on our calves. Part of that could be attributed to the summer, but I like hedging my bets.
Long Range definitely has changed the way of thinking. This product, with being able to last long enough to break the life cycle, is just a whole new thinking and never really available to us till this point. So it's going to be a huge help in the cattle industry.
Well, the bottom line is that, you know, we've got more gain on our calves this year.
And for a cattleman, finding a reliable way to put more money in the pocket on sale day is always a good thing. Reporting from Nowata, Oklahoma, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Here is some important safety information. Do not treat within 48 days of slaughter. Do not use in female dairy cattle 20 months of age or older, including dry dairy cows or in veal calves. Post-injection site damage can occur. These reactions have disappeared without treatment. You can find out more at the website thelongrangelook.com. We'll be back with more right after this.
Both here, 210.11. I'm at 210.11.
Yes! Joe, Todd, how'd you do? Oh, not bad.
See what you have to gain at thelongrangelook.com.
We don't sit idle, wondering how we're going to build a better truck. We get out there and walk a mile, thousands of miles, in the footsteps of the guys we build trucks for. The groundbreaking Ram Heavy Duty with 30,000 pounds of towing and 850 pound-feet of torque.
Want to help elect officials who understand the needs of the cattle industry? Then visit beefusa.org and check out the NCBA Political Action Committee online auction page. There, NCBA members can view and bid on a wide variety of exciting travel and merchandise, and the funds go to support NCBA's work in Washington, D.C. You must be a member to contribute to NCBA PAC, so don't wait. Join today.
Welcome back. No doubt the record high cattle prices we've seen over the past few months have put a smile on the face of many cow-calf producers. So given where we've been with calf prices and the desire to grow the cow herd, what's the likelihood of continued market strength? Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Russell Nemitz has some insight in this report.
In 2014, it appears cow-calf producers will be working to build the nation's cow herd. But at the same time, the current low cow numbers will continue to create marketing opportunities and profit potential for producers.
Well, certainly the historical relationship is as we've had tighter beef cow numbers, we've tended to see those periods of tightest beef cow numbers are also tied to the highest calf prices. And so, that's a clear inverse relationship. And so that really provides the foundation. So the economics do work very clearly. Well, I think the market, the overall economic environment is really shaping up quite differently than it has in recent years for cow-calf producers. Kind of the international trade side is still a foundation. The domestic market has actually been fairly strong in the beef complex, and we certainly have a different feed grain cost environment than we had just a couple of years ago and even last year. So our costs of production are potentially going down some in cow-calf country, but also our calf prices are going up due to the very tight supplies. So this is a completely different environment and one where producers plan to take advantage of that as they're making their business plans over the next several months.
While California is now in extreme drought and many areas of the country are still recovering from weather stresses of recent years, Jim Robb says the overall weather outlook for the next few years is looking up.
You never know really what Mother Nature is going to bring, especially in the cattle business. But if we have rather normal corn crops here for the next couple of years, higher calf prices, we're looking at profitability levels in the cow-calf sector that are really unprecedented. And producers really need to use that to their advantage and set up their operations for the long pull, look at their management plans, and really begin that process of how they're going to use that in terms of investments in the farm, in the ranch, to be profitable in the very long term.
Rob notes that the relationship between high calf prices and low cow numbers has historically been a normal, stable pattern. I'm Russell Nemitz, reporting for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Though calf and feeder cattle prices have been at record levels in the past few months, there are always concerns and challenges ahead. At the recent Cattle Industry Convention in Nashville, we asked producers from around the country what they see as the biggest challenge for the beef industry right now.
There's always health challenges, market challenges. You got to do risk management. I mean, that's always the case, especially at the levels we're at now in the market. You've got to do some kind of risk management.
It's been so dry and cattle are high, and we have a feedlot, and it's even though they're high, it's still hard to buy anything that might make any money, and it's going to be tough the next few years till they restock the cow herd.
We're actually coming off third year of drought. This will be the third year we haven't had any cattle on our range during the summer. We've actually had to move them out. We're really still dry in our area. The area is getting smaller. We've got rain within 60, 70 miles of us, but right at our ranch, we're still dry. Just come off fall with winter storm Atlas, which was another trying experience for us.
The biggest challenge facing the beef industry today, I would have to say, is probably government regulation. The cattlemen and women of this country are the ultimate environmentalists and stewards of the land. We can take care of our properties better than anyone, and encroachment of government in our daily lives makes it extremely difficult to operate daily.
Government regulations and drought. Between those two, you know, it's terrible that we were not able to change the cool situation, because all that's going to do is cost our industry money, a lot of money. It's going to aggravate Mexico and Canada, which is totally unnecessary. It'll do nothing for our consuming public. However, with that said, it's very difficult to always get your way, and I wish I could always get my way, but you can't, so we've got to continue working with that.
Well, we don't need any more regulation coming out of Washington, D.C. I mean, good times can be spoiled pretty fast if we get into that stuff.
There are many great reasons to become a member of NCBA, and one of them is a chance to read the National Cattlemen. It's the official publication of NCBA and provides timely news and articles about the issues and events affecting the beef industry. And it now includes an online version, which enables you to read the latest issue on the go. A subscription is included free of charge when you become an NCBA member. Joining is easy. Just give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit us online at beefusa.org. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this.
This is yours, and so is what grows there. Not theirs or theirs, yours. You need this to fight this and this to grow more this. Because the more of this you feed them, the less this you spend on that, which leaves more of this here. Don't let them take this from you. Chaparral takes care of weeds and brush, and that's that.
Don't miss the 2014 NCBA Legislative Conference in Washington, D.C. It's your opportunity to meet with key congressional and federal agency influencers and to let them know where cattlemen and women stand on critical issues that impact the cattle business and our way of life. Make plans to be in Washington, D.C. April 8th through the 10th for the 2014 NCBA Legislative Conference. Together we can do more. Details at beefusa.org.
Welcome back. Sustained nutrition is key to keeping your cows in good condition and producing healthy calves. For more on that, we turn to Cattleman and Cattlemen reporter John Robinson.
Hi, I'm John Robinson. I'm here with Dr. Ron Scott from Purina Animal Nutrition. Dr. Scott, what's new?
Well, at the Purina Animal Nutrition Center, we have some new capital that we've invested in. So our conference center has been improved. We'll hold 300 to 400 people in our conference room and have a very nice viewing area and dining area, of course, and some breakout rooms. So it's bigger and better than it was, so we can host more cattlemen coming into our facility when we have our field days located at Gray Summit that we call VIPs. Mm-hmm. We also have some expanded capabilities, particularly on the beef side, with a new innovation center, we call it, the Beef Innovation Center. In that facility, we have a conference room, and we can hold around 80 people in there with tables, but we have a viewing area where you can see our research capabilities, where we do our work with our intake modifying programs. So we have equipment where we can measure how many times a day a calf will come up to a bunk, what their biggest meal is, smallest meal, and things like that. But we also have the ability to do the same thing with hay consumption.
Dr. Scott, tell me a little bit more about how the center is going to help you in your work.
Well, our whole goal is to invent new products and programs for the cattle industry. So our facility will have the ability for us to measure individual intake, individual gain if we want, and also forage intake. And that's really important for the cattle industry today, particularly thinking about all the drought conditions that we've had. How can you better use your land resources, your labor resources? So some of our free choice products certainly fit into there. But there's a lot of new discoveries that are out there that we're looking into, different non-medicated feed additives that we can add to the diet to improve forage digestion. So it's all about discovery for us and creating some new products.
Let's take a closer look at what's happening with Purina in Missouri.
Welcome to the new Beef Innovation Center at the Purina Animal Nutrition Center. We designed this facility basically to serve two main purposes. Number one, on the beef research side, we wanted to increase our capabilities in the area of intake modifying technology. And number two, we wanted to have a conference center where we can actually come in and utilize the facility for training as well as educational events. The facility was designed basically to hold 9 pens of cattle with 6 head each. As you notice, look at the feed bunks as around me. Each individual animal is fitted with an electronic transponder that corresponds to one of those specific feed gates. Utilizing this equipment from Cattlemen Technologies allows us to measure individual intake within each one of these pens. But that's only part of the story. To go along with that individual intake, each one of these bunks is suspended in a framework that allows us to monitor that activity at the feed bunk with our eating behavior equipment. That metal framework is basically sitting upon a load cell, and those load cells are controlled by these silver boxes. And that's really the guts of the whole equation. We're able to control intake, monitor that intake, and monitor the eating behavior by utilizing the Cattlemen gates as well as the equipment and tying all that information in to see and help us understand how we can utilize ingredients, new technologies, possibly new feed additives in the future to help us modify the eating patterns of cattle so we can improve their productivity not only on the performance side but also on the forage intake and complete diet side.
It's a great set of facilities. Dr. Scott, tell me a little bit more about how that ties to what producers are doing in the field every day.
Well, at our facility, you look at it and you see, well, there's some specialized equipment there. Well, I don't have that at my ranch or on my farm, but it's all part of our research process. So we do some of the more of the basic research to understand what works, why it works, and how it works. But the next step is, if we see that it's consistent in the response, well, we'll take it out to our cow herd and to our stocker pastures. If it's a feedlot product, then we'll feed it at our feedlot. And we'll do a few more studies and make sure that it's consistent. And the reason why we do that, we're dealing with biology, and nothing is linear. 1 + 1 doesn't always equal 2. And so we have to have some consistency, and if it works consistent at our place, then we'll go out and test it out in the real world on ranches and feed yards to ensure that what we've seen at our facility, when we scale up to all the conditions that are out there, that we see the same results.
So you have quite a few new innovations. Tell us about how some of that's played into some of your new products.
Yeah, well, the most recent launch that we had was this past fall for a product called AccuRation Block. Now, it's not a 1 pound block, which is what a lot of blocks are today, where you have a limit in the amount that they can eat. So our product, AccuRation Block, is built with our intake modifiers, so there's more flexibility in the intake. So we still control intake so they don't gobble it up, but we're able to get 2 to 3 pounds of supplement into the cattle, because there are definitely times when cows need more than a pound of supplement, particularly in the free grazing country and in the south, and of course parts of the upper Midwest. So we're able to control consumption, get more protein and energy intake for the cows to help stimulate the intake and digestion of forage. And it's called AccuRation Block, so it's underneath our AccuRation umbrella, so it's built with our intake modifying technology.
So that ties a little bit into sustained nutrition. That's something that's important to Purina, it's important to Cattlemen. Tell us a little bit more about that.
You bet, John. Well, the AccuRation block will fit into sustained nutrition because we can offer it on a year-round basis. Now, at first thought, you say, why would I want to offer supplement to my cows on a year-round basis? Well, the first question is, do they eat too much? Well, they don't, because when forage quality is really good, they hardly eat very much at all, but they'll eat a little bit. And then as forage quality declines, they will consume more. And what we found is that cows actually will consume less total supplement when it's out 24/7, 365 days a year, than if you just offer it during the winter months when the typical season for feeding is. The benefits are remarkable. So our customers have seen more and bigger calves. And the reason why is we keep our cow herd in a more consistent plane of nutrition 24/7. So it's more of a 12-month cow care program. So we call it sustained nutrition.
Tell me a little bit more about what your best 3 pieces of advice for producers might be.
Well, I think with today's technologies that are coming out, we've come into the part of agriculture where some of the production responses that we've seen are amazing. You think of all the advances that are going on in genetics, not only in cattle but also in crops. Well, in cattle, it's huge because we have some more consistency and predictability in how our cattle are going to perform. Well, the same thing is true in nutrition. So I want to tell people to keep an open mind because there's some new things coming out that can dramatically affect performance. And one of those is what we've talked about with our sustained nutrition, where we have more of a consistent plane of nutrition, actually can dramatically impact the genetic potential of a cow herd. Then there are some things relative to the health of cattle. We know if cattle don't get sick, then they're going to have a better chance of performing throughout their lifetime. If they're feedlot cattle, then they'll close out better. And then the most important thing out of everything, particularly if you have cows, is reproduction, because you don't have anything to sell if your cows don't get bred. So there are a few key steps in that process relative to what I mentioned with consistent nutrition, but also mineral nutrition also. So we've got some products out there to provide a consistent consumption on mineral, because if you think about it, I've got a mineral out there and my cows are supposed to eat the right amount all the time. Well, that's hard to do, but we've got some formulas and some technologies that allow that for cows to eat closer to the target. So those are the big three that I think.
Thank you very much, Dr. Scott. It's a pleasure seeing you again.
You're welcome.
Kevin, back to you.
Thanks, John. To learn more about sustained nutrition, visit the website cattle.purinamills.com. Stay with us. We'll have more of our special interviews from the Cattle Industry Convention in Nashville right after this.
New Holland equipment is built smart for the way you farm, and the T6 series tractors from New Holland are the ideal mid-range tractors for cattlemen. Whether your job is loader work, operating hay equipment, moving round bales, or pulling a mixer wagon, the T6 provides power and performance with optimal comfort. Choose from 3 4-cylinder and 3 6-cylinder models with the right combination of transmission, hydraulic, and cab options to fit specific haying or row crop applications. And T6 engines are Tier 4A emissions compliant, featuring New Holland's exclusive EcoBlue technology. Visit your New Holland dealer to learn more about the complete lineup of New Holland equipment, in addition to all of the benefits available to cattle producers.
Hi there, I'm Joey.
And I'm Rory, and welcome to our farm outside Nashville, Tennessee. When we go to work, whether it's on tour or here at home, we wear the West.
That's right. Whether it's that perfect snap shirt or that perfect pair of boots, when you wear Roper, you wear the West.
Learn more about us, Joey and Rory, and about Roper Western Wear at eroper.com.
Telling the truth and being real, and feeding my family a home-cooked meal. That's important to me. That's important to me. And planting the garden and watching it grow.
Members of the cattle industry know firsthand the importance of sustainability. It's a belief that's shared by the folks at Darden restaurants as well. Joining us now is Brandon Tidwell, Manager of Sustainability for Darden Restaurants. Brandon, thanks for coming on our show.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me here in Nashville.
You bet. You know, it's amazing. We've been talking a lot about sustainability. I know Darden believes firmly in sustainability. Tell us how you define it, Brandon, and why you think it's so important.
Well, Darden really looks at the natural resources around the world are critical to providing the foods that we serve to over 1 million guests every day. Historically, one of the first companies, Red Lobster, was really about bringing seafood to the masses, and so we really paid attention a lot to ocean health and aquaculture. So as we think about some of our brands today, like Longhorn Steakhouse and Capital Grille and even Olive Garden, we serve a lot of beef. It's right there behind seafood. It's one of the second most valuable proteins to our guests. But we want to make sure that we can not only serve beef today, but we can serve it for generations. And so it's thinking through with suppliers and with producers about what are the critical issues in the beef supply chain, and how can a company like Darden better support producers from around the United States on making sure that we can provide beef today and tomorrow.
That's great news. And as you think about sustainability and specifically the beef industry, tell me more about what you've done at Darden specifically in beef industry sustainability.
Well, to be honest with you, sustainable beef is yet to be defined, right? So we're still trying to figure out, I think, as a retailer, how do you even define sustainable beef? It's been often said in the media that grass-fed beef or grain-finished beef, what is the right solution? To be honest, we don't even know, right? And that's why we tried to partner with the NCBA and the Beef Checkoff in their recent sustainability research to understand how are they defining sustainability. We know there are critical issues related to water management, both for cattle production and grain production for feed. We know there are feed efficiency issues. There's also issues related to greenhouse gas emissions, electric use in the processing plants. So to try to quickly define sustainable beef is part of the challenge in and of itself. Where we've tried to partner is to look for where we can bring our voice to the table. We know that guests are increasingly asking questions about where their food comes from. They want to know that the quality of their beef includes some sensitivities to the environment and to animal welfare. And we want to make sure that we can address those guest concerns. So our goal has been to work with organizations like the Global Roundtable for Sustainable Beef, to partner with NCBA, and to really try to listen and to be at the table and understand what the issues are. I think in the future we're going to be thinking about how do we proactively partner with the industry to solve these challenges and ultimately be able to deliver to guests not only a high quality steak that they love to eat that has a great taste and a good value, but it connects with their values about the planet and about the way they see the world. So we're not to bright yet, but I think we're working with the industry to figure that out.
Something they feel good about. So fast forward a little bit, what do you think the impact of these efforts will be?
Well, I think it's a great question, and I don't know that we know the answer yet. But we know that Longhorn Steakhouse has currently around 450 restaurants. They're going to keep growing. Capital Grill has 50+ restaurants. We serve a lot of beef across our brands. And so for the future, I think we want to make sure that we can provide a good quality product that can grow with our business. We know that beef is something that millennials are interested in. How do we make sure that we give them the cuts and the taste and the prep that they want? But I think more importantly, you're seeing the rise of this value or social conscious customer. And we know that they want to feel good about eating beef or any protein product that they're consuming. And so we really want to make sure we can provide them the information and the story. You know, when I'm here at these conferences and meet cattlemen, these are people who are really proud of the products they produce every day. And they take a lot of great investment. We've been out to ranches in Nebraska, Kansas, Colorado. We've talked with cattlemen. We know they really care about the environment, are good stewards of the resources they're afforded. We want to be able to tell their story. And so we're thinking now about how do we share that with our guests in a way that's meaningful.
Those are some outstanding ideas. So for cattlemen and cattlewomen watching this right now, I mean, what would you want them to know about your ongoing and continued efforts regarding sustainability?
Well, I think for the most important thing for them to know is that we really congratulate them and thank them for the work they've done to date. The sustainability study that NCBA released showed great improvements from 2005 until 2011. So I think the industry is already addressing these issues and needs to be applauded for the work they've done. What I would tell cattlemen and cattlewomen today is that we want to be a partner with them as we think about where we're headed in the future. We don't know, and we sure as heck don't want to tell them how to do their jobs any more than they know how to run our restaurants. But can we partner together? Can we find ways to help reduce the environmental impact of beef? We know there's a lot of noise out there, people just wanting folks to eat less beef. And we understand the concerns. There's some valid science there, but we think that there are some ways forward. We think beef is a product of the future. We think it's something that folks are going to continue to want and demand as a part of their diet. But we want to be able to provide that product with less resources every day. And so if we can find a way to work with the cattle industry to get to that place, I think that's really what we're at the table for.
Great to hear your passion for and interest in the beef cattle industry, and more importantly, your commitment to partnering with the industry to improve this sustainability issue together.
Well, we're learning, and we thank all the cattlemen and women for the work they do today, and our ears are open, and we're trying to learn all that we can as we think about what the future looks like. So thank you, guys.
You bet. There are many great reasons to become a member of NCBA, and one of them is the chance to read the National Cattlemen. It's the official publication of NCBA and provides timely news and articles about the issues and events affecting the beef industry. And it now includes an online version, which enables you to read the latest issue on the go. A subscription is included free of charge when you become a member of NCBA. Now, joining is easy. Just give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit us online at beefusa.org. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm an NCBA member because NCBA, they look at the facts, they look at the history, and they look what's good for the industry.
It's important to be NCBA members just because of what NCBA does. They keep us informed about a lot of things that are going on nationwide.
The reason we're an NCBA member is we think that it's the best voice that the cattle people have.
Join NCBA today. Head to beefusa.org or call 866-USA-BEEF.
The Chicago Mercantile Exchange and the National Cattlemen's Foundation are committed to the future of the cattle industry and continue to recognize and support outstanding youth in the beef community. Joining us now is Tim Andreessen, Managing Director of Agricultural Commodities for CME Group. Tim, let's start by talking a little bit about the history of this Beef Industry Scholarship.
You know, the history of this is interesting because this is the 50th year of futures trading, and this was started to celebrate the 25th year of history of futures trading. So we've been offering with the Cattlemen's Foundation this scholarship for 25 years now.
That's outstanding. And if there's a young member watching in the beef industry, how would you suggest they get involved?
Well, I think it's important to reach out to the Cattlemen's Foundation to do that. We actually rely on them as a partner in terms of establishing criteria and evaluating people for who wins these scholarships.
And let's talk about risk management for just a moment, because that's what you're all about. I mean, why do you think it's important for young people, for all of us, to get better at understanding risk management in this industry?
Well, you know, if you go around here at this event, and it's a fantastic event, you see a huge focus on the production side. And across all of agriculture, you see production. Risk management, though, as a businessman in agribusiness, is an important part because it's great to be able to produce, but you also have to be able to sell what you produce. And with markets being volatile, you have to be able to manage the risk around those markets. So, you know, one key part of the whole productivity question for anybody in agribusiness is, how do I manage the risk around my business?
Yeah, that's a great point. Thank you so much for all you're doing to encourage and educate young people.
Thank you.
To learn more about the CME Beef Industry Scholarship and how to apply, visit the website nationalcattlemansfoundation.org. It's always great to welcome new exhibitors to the Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. Joining us now is Deborah Vance of the American Galloway Breeders Association. Deborah, tell us a little bit about your association.
Well, the American Galloway Breeders Association is a long-time organization. We have had cattle come into the United States in the late 1860s. They came in originally from Canada. Their origins lie in the southwestern areas of Scotland.
Wow.
They're very cold hardy. They're moderate mature size, so our cows are between 11 and 1,400 pounds. And the bulls run 18 to 2,200 pounds. We're moderate size, not miniature size, and I'd like to make that distinction just a wee bit.
Sure. And what else should people know about the Galloway breed itself?
The Galloway breed itself is very interesting because they have a long winter coat. Now that sounds familiar from our friends, the Highland cattle. However, the Galloways are unique because they shed that winter coat in the summertime, which makes them very, very versatile cattle that are good in the colder climes up north, but function very, very well all the way to Texas.
Now, you came a long way to get here to Nashville. What brought you to Nashville?
Well, we really wanted to be a part of NCBA's trade show and convention because of the exposure level that you receive and have with your target audience, which is our fellow cattlemen.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming to the show, and thank you for making the journey to Nashville.
You're welcome, Kevin.
If you're interested in investing in the future of our great industry, now is a perfect time to join Deborah as a member of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Joining is easy. Just give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit us online at beefusa.org. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This isn't a job, it's a calling. Your hard work helps feed the world. Being linked to those who care for the land is our calling. For more than 175 years, John Deere has been a proud partner of the cattle business. That's why we bring you special NCBA member discounts, so you can get the right equipment, strong, rugged, versatile, and ready to work hard. Talk to your John Deere dealer to learn more about your NCBA member discounts. John Deere, committed to the land, committed to your success.
Hello, I'm Kevin Ochsner, host of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Each week, we travel the country to bring you the latest cattle industry news and information. Check us out at cattlementocattlemen.org or on Facebook and Twitter.
Lots of cowmen put a little extra into their calves, hoping it'll bring them another nickel at the sale, like preconditioning, early weaning, or for specialty markets. But how can the buyer trust your claim? Old vaccine bottles or your ratty tally book? Truth is, this little green ear tag will be all you need. That's what IMI Global does, third-party verification. The seal of approval, like the nutrition label on your Twinkie. Did I say Twinkie? IMIGlobal.com.
Let's face it, you don't think a lot about your trailer hitch. You use it and forget it. We understand. But at B&W, we think about it. Short nights, long hauls, never-ending chores. The unthinkable. We think about it all, so you don't have to. B&W. Trusted.
Everywhere I go, 10% of the people do 90% of the work. And they get to do it for nothing. And that's not the only perk. They're asked to donate to causes, contribute their cash and their time, to get up early, usually stay late, and always claim they don't mind. They serve on boards and commissions, participate in the potluck, bring snacks for the kindergartners. For hay rides, they furnish the truck. They take their turn on the fair board as deacons or soccer moms, jury duty or Salvation Army, ringing bells and gathering alms. They raise funds for endless projects. The food bank, the FFA, missions in faraway countries, Girl Scouts and the PTA. They call on the shut-ins, fight cancer, or maybe teach others to read. Through Rotary, Lions or Kiwanis, they work to fulfill a need. The 10% you can count on to sign up, to help and belong. Always ready and willing, they make our community strong. Well, they often don't get the glory or noticed by everyone, but they're easy to find at a party, cleaning up after it's done. Well, what causes man to serve his fellow man? At best, I discern not money, because sometimes the thanks is all they'll earn. And it can't be evolution, where only the toughest survive, or lessons learned in a classroom. Compassion, see page 25. But it's there in certain people. Giving satisfies their needs. You can't find it in a brain scan, but you can see it in their deeds. No physical exam can spot it, and it won't show up on the chart. But if I had to guess what it is, I'd say it comes from the heart. So I'll just admit that we're lucky the 10% are right here, because without them, nothing would happen. and they do it all volunteer. Vol from the Greek meaning work like a horse, and untier meaning without pay. Can I sign you up? This is Baxter Black from out there.
Thanks, Baxter. It's always good to hear from you. We'll be back with more right after this.
Join your fellow cattlemen in sizzling hot San Antonio for the 2015 Cattle Industry Annual Convention and NCBA Trade Show. It's the beef industry's biggest convention, and it's great for education, networking, and fun. Plus, you can check out the NCBA Trade Show for the latest technology. It's the 2015 Cattle Industry Annual Convention and NCBA Trade Show in sizzling hot San Antonio, Texas, February 4 through 7. Visit beefusa.org for more.
Celebrate American agriculture at the 2014 National Ag Day. It's March 25th in Washington, D.C. With 365 sunrises and 7 billion mouths to feed, this event honors the contributions of American agriculture to the world.
I am optimistic about the future of agriculture. Doubling production is what we're going to have to do by 2050. I have no doubt of what we can do this.
To learn more, visit agday.org.
Welcome back. Time now for this week's Legacy Photos. Let's have a look. Now, don't forget, you can send us your pictures of your farm and ranch by visiting our website, cattlementocattlemen.org. Include your ranch or farm name and your hometown, and we may use them on a future episode. Why not join us for the 2015 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show in beautiful San Antonio, Texas? Mark your calendar for next February 4th through the 7th, 2015 in sizzling hot San Antonio. Details at beefusa.org. Well, that wraps up this week's edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week right here on RFD TV.